When I think on famous superhero movie directors, one of the first names that come to mind is James Gunn. Let's talk about his movies. Hello everybody, welcome back to another director's movie ranking of J. Mara, and in this video it's James Gunn his turn. Yeah, recently his new movie Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 came out, so this is the perfect time to talk about all his directed movies. He has a total of 6 movies, and we're gonna rank them from my weakest one to my favorite one. And if you really like these kind of rankings where I talk about the director's filmography, please check out my other two. This is my third video I do a director's ranking of his movies. I already did Quentin Tarantino, and I also did Ben Affleck, his directed movies. So if you're interested to see those rankings, I will leave a link below the description, or if I forget to do that, I will leave one in the comments if you're interested in that. But we're gonna talk about James Gunn today. I really like James Gunn, I really like his movies. I would not say that he is among my favorite movie directors, but I believe that he makes really cool movies. I really enjoy the movies he made so far. And he is actually a superhero movie director, because of his 6 movies he made as a director, 5 of them are superhero movies. And yeah, he started with this little bit of nasty horror movie that is really enjoyable. So yeah, if I think about famous movie directors, usually 2 names pop up in my mind, and that is James Gunn and Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder is among my favorite movie directors. I think he made some amazing masterpieces. I will do a ranking of Zack Snyder too in the future, but I'm waiting for his new movie to come out to do so, and that is Rebel Moon, and I believe it's set to be released in November on Netflix. So have a little patience on that. I'm really looking forward to make that video. But now we are talking about James Gunn, another famous superhero movie director. He made a bit of everything. He made 3 movies, 3 Guardians movies for the MCU, a bit child friendly. But he also made superhero movies that is a bit R-rated, a bit more bloodier, a bit more with hard language, so to say. And he is good in both those areas. So yeah, I suggest that we rank them. Also, I'm only gonna focus on his directed movies. James Gunn also wrote some movies. For instance, he wrote the remake of the zombie classic Dawn of the Dead, in which Zack Snyder actually directed that one, so the two actually worked together for a movie. And that was one good, awesome movie. And he also wrote the 2 Scooby-Doo movies that was directed by Raja Gosnell. I really like those 2 Scooby-Doo movies. And then from 2006 he became a director himself. Yeah, till now actually. So let's get to the ranking, shall we? And yeah, some movie has to come at my bottom place, and unfortunately that has to be his latest movie, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Don't get me wrong guys, I still really like this movie, but I believe it is his weakest movie. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, what I really like is that James Gunn focused in this movie on the backstory of my favorite character, and it is Rocket the Raccoon. When in the first movie and in the second movie, I always wondered what was the backstory of Rocket. I really wanted to have a movie that focused on Rocket. And with Volume 3, we actually got that movie. So that is a big plus on that movie. And the backstory we got in Volume 3, that was a really cool backstory, very emotional. We actually learn more about Rocket, about his past, how he became Rocket. And yeah, that was very beautiful to see. But I have some issues with Guardians 3. That's also why it's on my bottom place in this ranking. First of all, the villain. The High Evolutionary. He started good. Very cool villain, interesting villain. But as long as the movie was going, and towards the ending, I really don't care about that villain. He actually turned to be, yeah, just annoying joke. That is what he was, and nah, I didn't really care for the villain. He was a good fit for Rocket, his backstory, and Rocket did something with the character that I really liked. Really James Gunn in that scene, so that was good. Also, I missed something in this movie. Something that I had with Volume 1 and Volume 2. Because the first two Guardians movies, they are actually very entertaining for me. And that entertaining value I did not really had in this movie, and that was a bit of a shame. I cannot really pinpoint to what it is, exactly what I missed, but yeah, it did not have really the same flavor as I had with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and Volume 2. You will see those two much higher in the list, little spoiler. But yeah, it's still a James Gunn movie. The humor he uses in the movie is still good. The characters are still enjoyable to watch, especially from that team. Drax and Mantis, awesome chemistry. So yeah, there's still plenty to like in this movie, but yeah, there was something missing for me to really enjoy this movie. So that's why it's coming at number 6. Just above that, number 5, we have actually the movie I saw for the first time yesterday, and it is Super. And Super from 2010 is the first superhero movie he directed. And you can feel that it's a bit, has a lower budget, it feels cheap, it feels very independent. That's not a problem at all, but you can tell that if you watch the movie. And that's also an issue I had with the movie, is that, yeah, mostly it was a bit of a shaky cam, and certainly at the beginning of the movie that was a bit annoying to watch the scenes. Also, another issue I had with the movie was there are some scenes in it that are weird. For instance, the scene in which the main character Frank is turned into the superhero, the Crimson Bolt. Yeah, that was just very odd to watch that. And there are some other scenes in it that I have some, yeah, that are just odd to watch. But it's actually an R-rated superhero movie. There is bad language, it's very bloody, it's a very violent superhero movie. And I really like that, to watch that. It's a bit of a rough start at the beginning, but the more you watch the movie, towards the ending, the more you really appreciate the movie, you really like the movie. At least that's how I experienced the movie. And yeah, it's actually a very cool independent superhero movie. Check it out. If you're into R-rated superhero movies, I think you will have a blast with this one. The only problem the movie had is that it came out in the same year as Kick-Ass, and I'm a big fan of Kick-Ass. The movie is a bit in the shadow of Kick-Ass in my regard, but definitely worth checking out. Super. Number 4 is actually his debut and the only non-superhero movie he directed, and that is Slither. This 2006 movie is a horror movie, a very gory horror movie, and it's a bit of everything. It starts with this meteorite alien thing that comes to Earth. Then it's suddenly an invasion of alien worms. Then it becomes a zombie movie. It's also body horror because the main character, played by his favorite actor Michael Booker, turns into this creature. So it's also part creature feature. It's a lot of things, this movie, and that makes it also a very interesting movie to watch. If you watch Slither, there is not a moment you're gonna be bored. You will be enjoyed from start to finish, if you're into the movie at least. So yeah, I always like this movie. I've seen this movie a couple of times, and I enjoyed it every time I watch it. It's very nasty, it's gory, but that makes it a very fun horror movie. It's a bit of comedy as well, but yeah, Slither, a good debut movie, a good horror movie. I really liked Slither, and that's why it's at number 4. Now, we are at the top 3 James Gunn movies. And these 3 movies are one of the best superhero movies I have seen. These are superhero movies that really stand out. And at number 3, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now this movie is a bit of a mixed bag for people. You have a group of people that really enjoy this movie, that think it's as good as the first one. I am in that group. I really enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But there is also another group of people that were a bit disappointed by the movie. They felt that the movie was a letdown. And I actually get that group as well. Like, when the opening scene happened, a large part of this movie is actually just characters being on one place, doing stuff. They are a bit meandering around. For some people that is a bit boring. But I think that was actually also good, because these characters are very interesting, they are very cool, so I actually love to hang out with these characters when they are a bit doing not much. But for me the best part of the movie is with Rocket, Groot and Yondu. The journey they are taking in this movie was some amazing stuff, very hilarious with Taserface, with going to very fast to the place where Ego is, the escape with Groot getting the keys, very hilarious. And yeah, Yondu really stands out in this movie, especially at the end. He has a very emotional character moment with Star-Lord. That was very touching. Yeah, I actually really enjoy this movie. Every time I watch it, I enjoy myself, and yeah, for me it's a perfect movie. It's a great superhero movie, so deserving at spot number 3. At number 2, we have the Suicide Squad. Something felt. But we go further. The Suicide Squad at number 2. Back in 2016, we already had a Suicide Squad movie. A very anticipated movie of that year. When the trailer came out, it looked so cool, so much potential. And when we saw the movie, it was one of the biggest disappointments I had when I went to a cinema. That movie was not good. So I was very pleased when James Gunn, when it was announced that James Gunn was going to direct the sequel / reboot of Suicide Squad, called The Suicide Squad. Some returning characters like Harley Quinn and Rick Flag came back. Some new cool characters like Bloodsport, Ratcatcher 2.0 and Peacemaker, who got his own show. All cool characters, and this movie is just a very cool movie. It's R-rated, it's bloody, it's action-packed, it's very hilarious. It's just an amazing Suicide Squad movie. And one of the best movies of 2021. So, his second best movie in my opinion. But of course, no surprise, the best James Gunn movie is Guardians of the Galaxy. I really love this movie. The first Guardians of the Galaxy movie is one of my favorite superhero movies. It's one of the funnest movies I ever seen, one of the coolest movies. It's just a bunch of misfits, outcasts, and I liked every single of those 5 characters. Rocket is my favorite, Drax is funny, Gamora is amazing, Star-Lord, amazing. Especially how they introduced Star-Lord with the music on that planet and nobody knew his name. Amazing. Actually, I have no issues with Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a perfect superhero movie. And yeah, that's why it's my favorite James Gunn movie. So guys, that was my ranking. I hope you enjoyed it. Always be free to share your James Gunn ranking in the comments, of just say what your favorite James Gunn movies. Always love to hear your opinions. And yeah, till the next time.